Have you reached the other side of the river? This is Caede, your guide. This area, which is now the Peace Memorial Park, used to be the central downtown area of Hiroshima City, but it was completely destroyed to the ground by the atomic bomb. It is said that about 4,400 people lived in this area. Then, with the enactment of the Hiroshima Peace Memorial City Construction Law on the Atomic Bomb Memorial Day, August 6, 1949, the area was transformed into the Peace Memorial Park as it is today in 1955. The Peace Memorial Park was designed by Caede and others. Caede is the architect who also designed the famous Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. The park was developed by adding several tens of centimeters of landfill. The A-bomb dome you saw earlier, the Peace Memorial Museum, and many cenotaphs are located in the park, which I will explain more about. As you tour the Peace Memorial Park, you may be wondering what the current radiation levels are in Hiroshima. Currently, there is very little radiation here with levels that are no different from natural background radiation, which does not affect the human body. Although the initial radiation immediately after the explosion caused great damage to the human body. But because the bomb exploded 600 meters above the ground, the radiation was widely dispersed, so the levels of residual radiation that could potentially affect the human body was not high. It is also said that the landfill helped lower the amount of radiation in the area. This 20-meter high tower, the Peace Clock Tower, was donated 10 years after the completion of the Peace Memorial Park. The 2-meter diameter sphere at the top represents all mankind, and it chimes to the world every day at 8:15 a.m. That time, the atomic bomb was dropped. The Peace Bell was created with the hope of achieving a world of peaceful coexistence, free of all nuclear weapons and war. The bell depicts a map of the world without borders, representing one world. The pond surrounding the bell is filled with lotuses, which bloom beautifully around August 6 every year. It is said that after the atomic bombing, survivors used to cover their burn wounds with lotus leaves to ward off the pain. This is a memorial tower that houses unclaimed remains of unidentified individuals or entire families. It still holds the remains of 800 people. Every year on August 6, a memorial service of various religions and sects is held in front of this memorial tower for their spirits. During World War II, many Koreans lived in Japan through forced labor and other means. In Hiroshima, approximately 20,000 Koreans lost their lives in the atomic bombing, and this monument was erected in 1970 to mourn their souls. Based on the belief that the souls of the dead ascend to heaven on the back of turtles, The base of the monument is in the shape of the turtle, and the list of the names of the dead is kept in a box on the ground in front of the turtle's base. This cenotaph is the statue of the children of the atomic bomb. It comforts the spirits of the many children who died in atomic bombing, including Sadako Sasaki, and appeals to the world for peace. Sadako Sasaki was exposed to the radiation at the age of 2. She was located at only 1.6 kilometers from the hypocenter. But because of luck, she was not injured. 10 years later, however, she was diagnosed with leukemia and died at the age of 12. In Japan, it is said that if you fold 1,000 origami cranes, your wish will come true. It is said that the number of cranes Sadako folded was as many as 1,500, and that she continued to fold cranes until just before her death, hoping that her illness would be cured. Shocked by Sadako's death, her classmates called for a nationwide effort to create a cenotaph for all children who died in the atomic bombing, and a fundraising campaign led by children began. The statue was completed with the help of students from more than 3,100 schools across the country and from abroad, including the United Kingdom. On top of the tower is a paper crane, a symbol of peace. 1,000 origami cranes folded by Japanese children visiting Hiroshima are donated to the rear of the Children of the Atomic Bomb statue. It is estimated that about 10 million cranes are folded each year. Across the street is the light of peace in front of it. It was built to mourn the souls of those who died in search of water in the aftermath of the bombing, and to call for the abolition of nuclear weapons and world peace. The pedestal represents the shape of open hands with the wrists together and the palms outstretched to the sky. The unquenchable fire from Mount Misen and Miyajima Island, which has been burning for 1,200 years, was ignited and taken to Hiroshima on August 1st, 1964. It will continue to burn until there are no more nuclear weapons in the world. And this is the cenotaph for the atomic bomb victims. Inside the square cenotaph is a list of names of the victims of the atomic bombing. Every year during the Peace Memorial Ceremony on August 6, new names of victims are added to the list. And as of August 6, 2021, 329,000 names are on the list. The cenotaph says, "Rest in peace," as a prayer for the souls of the airborne victims and a pledge not to repeat the mistakes of the use of nuclear weapons and war. The words, "Rest in peace, for we will not repeat our mistakes," are inscribed on the monument. A section with an arched roof has been installed to protect the spirits of the victims from the rain. The pond around the cenotaph for the atomic bomb victims has explanations of the cenotaph written in various languages. Every year on August 6th, a peace memorial ceremony is held in the plaza in front of the cenotaph, inviting ambassadors from various countries. Of course, the Japanese Prime Minister and other dignitaries also attend the ceremony. A moment of silence is observed at 8:15, the time of the atomic bombing. South of the Peace Memorial Park is the Peace Memorial Museum, which was renovated in 2019 and consists of a west wing and east wing, displaying artifacts left behind by Hibakusha and photographs and drawings showing the devastation of the atomic bombing. Visitors can also learn about the technical details of the atomic bomb, how it was dropped on Hiroshima, and the history of Hiroshima after the bombing. Although some of the exhibits are certainly not easy to see, you can learn a variety of things, so please visit the museum. Looking at the city of Hiroshima today, it is hard to imagine what it looked like in 1945 when it was a charred wasteland. But we must always remember the tragedy and make sure that peace will last forever. The Aogiri tree across from Peace Memorial Museum was originally located 1.3 kilometers from the hype center and was exposed to the bomb. After the bombing, it was hit hard by the heat rays and blast and lost its branches and leaves, leaving only half of its trunk. The next spring, however, it sprouted and gave people the courage to live on. About 30 years later, the tree was moved to its current location, where it continues to convey to us the tragedy of the atomic bombing.